What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to another video. Today we got a few, well, not just a few, quite a few NASCAR stories that we do need to discuss about. Let's just jump straight to it, and let's not keep this intro flowing. So, to start off with today's NASCAR news story, Dr. Anthony Fauci did today come out, not today, yesterday, says that sports could return without fans. Here is a quote that he said yesterday. There's a way of doing it. Nobody comes to the stadiums. Put the players in big hotels wherever you want them to play. Keep them very well surveilled. Have them be tested every single week and make sure they don't wind up infecting each other or their families, and just let them play the season out. Now, that's really interesting. He says it's not out of question that we could get the season started without fans. I do believe that the seasons, like sports in general, are going to get started back up here around June. I feel, regardless of the situation or not. I think because they're losing money, and two, fans have not been able to come, so stadiums aren't making money. But if they want sports to return at any point in 2020 without a lot of repercussions, you're going to have sports without fans. You're not going to have a choice at this point. I don't think we're going to be restarting a lot of these sports in May. I can see a few sports restarting in May. The PGA has already come out, and golf has already come out and said that they're going to be restarting in the first the first week of June, I believe. But they're not going to have fans come into their stadiums for the first 4 weeks of games, first four golf tournaments that they have. So that's very interesting there. So, and Dr. Fauci says there's a possibility. He's not ruling it out that we get restarted, but he said probably a little bit later. I think sports, like I said, will get back going here around the June time. But let me know what you think we're going to get back to going. Now we get into the iRacing section of this video, because there's a lot to discuss about iRacing. So, one name that has popped up and is making their debut at this weekend's Pro Invitational Series is Kevin Harvick. Kevin Harvick is going to make his Pro Invitational Series debut at Richmond International Raceway. Pretty cool that Kevin Harvick is finally, after a lot of peer pressure and a lot of people saying, where's Kevin Harvick? Well, he's had a simulator for the last 2 weeks. It's just that Kevin Harvick has not been in this. He's been getting warmed up. He's been getting trained on the sim. And I think that Kevin Harvick will probably, I don't know how he's going to do. He's probably not going to win, but he's probably going to at least have a decent run. He's pretty good at Richmond in real life. He's actually good there. But I'm not so sure about how he's going to do at Richmond when we do get on the sim this Sunday. But really cool to see that Kevin Harvick is going to be making his debut at Richmond. Now we get into the Pro Invitational Series. Did you notice that the Pro Invitational Series has a lack of drivers, and there's only 26 drivers enter for this race? Well, there's actually been a qualifying race that has been added for this Sunday's race. At 9:30, 10:30 Eastern, 9:30 Central Time, and 7:30 on the West Coast, NASCAR will be live streaming, I believe, on their their YouTube channel. They will be live streaming a qualifying race. This qualifying race is going to be a 25-lap shootout between 13 drivers. And this will be, like I said, 25-lap race. There will be no cautions. And how it will work is it'll be the top 2 finishers. And Fox is going to choose 2 drivers of their own that are going to get into this event. So here are the drivers that are going to be participating in this qualifier. Quinn Houff, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Bobby Labonte, Brennan Poole, Corey LaJoie, Michael McDowell, Cole Custer, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chad Fincham, J.J. Yaley, Joey Gase, Landon Castle, and Daniel Suarez will all be trying to qualify into this race. Now, I think objectively looking at this race, Dale Jr. is an automatic lock, regardless if he finishes in the top 3 or not, because Fox loves Dale Jr. even though he's on NBC. Dale Jr. is a big face, and if you don't put him in the show, you're going to have a lot of people that are going to be upset by this. I look at this list as well, people on here. I think definitely Landon Castle is one I watch for this in the qualifiers. I definitely think Bobby Labonte might have a decent showing. Joey Gase is known to be decent at this iRacing, so who knows who's going to make it. But I think Dale Jr. is definitely locking in. Bobby Labonte's a definite lock on this list. It does suck that they have to do 2 separate races, but I think after what happened in the Pro Invitational race at Bristol, when they had 35 guys in that race and so many wrecks, and when they had to go single file, NASCAR made a decision to drop it from 35 to 30. So 26 guys locked in regardless. 4 guys will get in from this race. I'm really also glad that they are doing this, because it's going to limit the field a little bit more as well. But also, you're going to have less chaos and less crazy. I think it's just going to be a lot better for the racing product in general. Speaking of iRacing as well, Kyle Busch is going to compete in this Saturday's IndyCar iRacing event at Twin Ring Motegi Circuit, driving the number 51 Dolora IndyCar. Really cool that Kyle Busch is going to participate in this event. I think Kyle Busch can honestly surprise people. He's been getting a lot better on the simulator. He's been maturing. He's been growing on the simulator. And there's a really, really great chance that Kyle Busch could have a strong run in this race. Remember, Dale Jr. ended up getting a podium in the Michigan race last Saturday. Granted, that was because off of fuel mileage, but I think that Kyle Busch could surprise a lot of people. He knows how to drive cars, and pretty cool that Kyle Busch is joining the IndyCar series. I wouldn't be surprised if Jimmy Johnson comes back and runs the event. Maybe Dale Jr. comes back and runs another one of his IndyCar events. We might be starting to see a lot more of these bigger fields with NASCAR drivers taking part of this. Maybe some other series, some guys taking part of this IndyCar series. Maybe someone like, I don't know, maybe like Ron Casten's IndyCar. You never know with this. But pretty cool that Kyle Busch is going to be attempting to run this weekend's race at Twin Ring Motegi Circuit, which is a track that IndyCar has not taken part in a long time. This is what I like IndyCar is doing. They're taking it serious and they're keeping the seriousness, but they're also not going to the tracks that are on their schedule. They're going like different racetracks. I guarantee if NASCAR went to like North Wilkesboro or Nashville or something like that, it would bring fan and gain interest in the sport. And I think that's something very important to note about this. Is that Kyle Busch, I think, is really cool to see him, and he's going to run this event. Now to the next story, and we get to a pretty big, interesting story. A lot of people have been wondering what Bubba Wallace is going to say, and Bubba Wallace has released a statement on Twitter, and I'm going to read you that statement right now from the Kyle Larson situation. As much as I didn't want to be involved, I was from the very beginning. There's part of my background and culture that feels attacked and hurt, and the other part feels confused and angry. Let's start off with the word. It's not just a word. There's a ton of negative meaning behind that word. It's a way or not. The word brings many terrible memories for people and families and brings it back to the time that we, as a community and human race, have tried our hardest to get away from. The sport has made combating this stereotype one of their top priorities. NASCAR has been doing what it can to get away from the racist and redneck sport labels. Diversity and inclusion is a main priority for the sport across every team, every car, every crew member, and employee. With that said, it hurts to see the African American community immediately thrown NASCAR under the bus with the I'm representing the last couple weeks. As a person who arguably has the best voice on this topic in our sport, it's tough for me to speak to because I didn't even imagine us being here. Can we all do a better job with inclusion? Absolutely. It's a worldwide problem, not just in our sport. We as humans can always do better. What Larson said was wrong, whether in public, private, or public. There is no gray area. I saw what incident the night it happened, and within 5 minutes, Kyle texted me. He called me the next morning as well. Finally, called him back with a FaceTime to talk face-to-face, and we had a good conversation. His apology was sincere. His emotions and pride were shattered. We discussed why he chose to use that language, and I shared my thoughts. I told him it was too easy for him to use the word, and that he had to do better and get it out of his vocabulary. There is no place for that word in this world. I am not mad at him, and I believe that he, along with most people, deserve a second chances and deserve space to improve. I do wish him and his family nothing but the best, and I am more willing to work with him to address diversity and inclusion in our sport. Since Sunday, I've constantly been reading my mentions and Twitter feeds. Some comments I can agree with, but most leave me baffled. As an athlete, immediately became representative of something bigger than ourselves. There is something most people may not understand. We are ambassadors to our partners, our race teams, crews, families, and the sanctioning body. Every single person is affected. One question I get often is, what's the worst part of being an athlete? I always reply with how we're all put on a pedestal. Everything we do, eat, and say is under a microscope. But a normal person can mostly do whatever they want. Some call it unfair, sure. Well, that's what we signed up for from day one. Have I been the best ambassador at times? Absolutely not. We're not perfect. I'm not perfect. We're all human. We make mistakes. Often giving many chances. The part that irks me the most are the people that say, but if Bubba said it, nothing would happen. Let me throw the rule book at you first. As an NASCAR member, we shall not make or cause a public statement or communication that criticizes, ridicules, or otherwise disparages another person's race, color, creed, national origin, gender, sexual orientation, marital status, religion, age, or handicapping conditions. I am a NASCAR member, a damn proud one too. I would expect and should be held to the same standard as any other members of the sport. I think everyone can learn something from what has happened in these past few weeks. I am looking forward to getting the season back underway and continue our momentum. Very, very, very incredible and great statement that Bubba Wallace put out. I think he basically says what I say. I think while Kyle Larson made a mistake, and he should know not to say that word, I think everybody in this world deserves a second chance in life, unless you do something really, really bad. Kyle Larson, in my opinion, does deserve a second chance. I've said that in the past, and I keep harping on it time and time again. He made a big mistake. Bubba Wallace, I think he understands, that Larson does deserve some sort of punishment and deserves some things handed to him. But at the same time, I think Bubba Wallace makes a very, very strong statement. I think Bubba Wallace is absolutely correct. I don't really have to say much about this because Bubba Wallace says basically what I have to say, and I'm really glad that he brought the statement out because I think it shows, especially since he is African American, I think he has a right to say this. I think he did a really good job talking about this. And now we get to this final story. And speaking of Kyle Larson is determined to make a comeback in NASCAR. And Larson has enrolled into sensitivity training. I'm pretty sure he enrolled in sensitivity training on Sunday. So that's really, really cool to see there. And I'm hoping Kyle Larson at some point can make a comeback. Now, I don't think Kyle Larson will be racing anymore in 2020. But if he is to make a comeback, and there's a team that I look at for him to go to, Stewart-Haas Racing. Henry Motorsport's not going to pick him up because of this whole situation. But Tony could pick him up. He can learn from this. He deserves a second chance. And I think that he deserves a lot in life. And I hope Kyle Larson can get through this situation and come back a stronger person and cannot make this same mistake again. If he makes the same mistake again, his career is finished. It's over. But he deserves a second chance, and I hope he gets that second chance. So, yeah, there was quite a lot of NASCARs I need to discuss with you guys today. So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so you can be notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on all my social medias, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below for that. And comment your thoughts on today's video. What did you think of today's video? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.